Be me, 26, living with my boyfriend Ryan for the past 8 months. I thought we had something real, you know? But lately, I'd been noticing things. Red flags I couldn't ignore anymore. It was Sunday night, around 9 p.m, when everything came to a head. Ryan had just gotten back from his weekly basketball thing with his college buddies, still in his gym shorts, sweaty, holding his duffel bag like he'd just conquered the world or something. The apartment smelled like the vanilla candles I'd lit hours ago, waiting for him. I was sitting on the couch, laptop open. I'd been doing research all evening, articles Mara had sent me, Reddit threads, that Instagram account about recognizing toxic patterns. My heart was pounding, but I knew I had to do this. For us. He didn't even make it to the bedroom before I started. We need to talk. He froze, that confused puppy look on his face. Okay? Let me just... No now. This is important. I watched him set down his bag slowly, like he was defusing a bomb. Good. He should take this seriously. I've been thinking a lot about us, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. And I think you need help. Help with what? Ryan, you go to the gym like 6 times a week. You're obsessed with getting bigger, with muscle mass. Do you know what I read today? Men who prioritize physical strength like that, it's rooted in misogyny. It's compensation for emotional inadequacy. And honestly, it can be a precursor to violence. His face did this thing, like he couldn't process what I'd just said. Violence? Babe, I've been working out since high school. You knew this when we met. That's not the point. The point is why. Why do you need to be that big? Who are you trying to intimidate? I'm not trying to intimidate anyone. I just like... And these basketball nights, I continued, because I needed to get it all out. Every single Sunday. You've never missed one for me. Not once. That's you choosing your boys over our relationship. That's emotional unavailability. They're my friends. Friends you make inappropriate jokes with. Friends who reinforce toxic masculine behavior, especially Jake. I practically spat his name. That guy is a walking red flag and you don't even see it. Ryan ran his hand through his hair, still standing there like an idiot. Where's this coming from? It's coming from the fact that I care about you. About us. Do you remember when we watched A Star is Born? You didn't cry? Not even during the ending. That's not normal, Ryan. That's emotional suppression. I didn't feel like crying. Exactly. You don't feel things the way you should, and you're so obsessed with this promotion. You brought your laptop on our anniversary weekend. You work like 50 hours a week. You value your career over our relationship. I could see him trying to formulate responses, but everything he said just sounded like defensiveness, which, according to the articles I'd read, was classic toxic behavior. I don't understand, he finally said. I thought we were happy. That's the problem, Ryan? You don't see it. You don't see how these patterns are hurting us. I took a breath. This was it. I found a therapist, Dr. Richardson. His office is downtown. He takes our insurance. I booked us for next Wednesday at 6 p.m. You booked us for therapy? If you actually care about us, you'll do this. If you refuse, I let that hang in the air. Then I know where your priorities are. He stood there for what felt like forever. Then, quietly, Okay. Yeah. If you think we need it, okay. I felt this rush of relief. See? He did care. He was willing to work on himself. That night, lying in bed next to him, I felt like I'd done the right thing, like I'd saved us before we became another statistic. He was quiet, staring at the ceiling, but I told myself that was just him processing. I didn't know then that I'd just handed him the tools to leave me. Wednesday arrived faster than I expected. The office was on the 11th floor of some downtown building, one of those modern therapy spaces with big windows overlooking the city. 2 couches facing each other, the therapist's chair at the head. Grey walls, a small succulent on the side table, tissue boxes strategically placed everywhere. Dr. Richardson was older, maybe late 50s, with a salt and pepper beard and this calm energy that immediately put me at ease. He shook both our hands, gestured for us to sit. "So," he said, clicking his pen, "what brings you in today?" I jumped in before Ryan could say anything. I'd prepared for this. I think Ryan has some behaviors that are really unhealthy, and I'm worried about what it means for our relationship long term. "Can you give me some examples?" I pulled out my phone. I'd actually made a list. Okay, so first, the gym thing. He takes pre-workout at 5:30 in the morning, which wakes me up. Then he's gone for like 90 minutes, sometimes longer. It's compulsive at this point. Dr. Richardson nodded, writing something down. "How often does this happen?" 5, 6 times a week, minimum. "Ryan, is that accurate?" Ryan shifted on the couch. "Yeah, I mean, I try to go before work. It helps me start my day." "It's excessive," I said. "And then there's the emotional unavailability. When I ask him about his day, he just says, 'fine' or 'good.' That's it. No details, no sharing, nothing." "Do you feel comfortable sharing with her, Ryan?" Dr. Richardson asked. Ryan glanced at me, then back at the therapist. "Sometimes." What does sometimes mean? I guess when I do talk about work stuff, or if I'm stressed about something, she usually tells me I'm being too negative, or she immediately tries to fix it when I just want to vent. I felt my face get hot. "That's not... I'm trying to help." "I know," Ryan said quietly, "but sometimes it feels like there's a right answer and a wrong answer, and I don't know which is which." Dr. Richardson made another note. "What else?" I continued down my list. "Sunday nights. He has this basketball thing with his college friends, 7 to 10 p.m. every single week. Non-negotiable. He's never once missed it for me, not even when I had that work event I wanted him at." "How often do you see your friends?" the therapist asked me. "What?" "I don't know. That's not..." "Roughly. I mean, my girls come over maybe twice a week, but that's different." "How is it different?" I didn't like where this was going. "Because we're home." He leaves. Dr. Richardson turned to Ryan. "Do you feel you have enough time for your own interests outside of work and the relationship?" Ryan hesitated. "Honestly, sometimes I feel like I need permission to do anything. Like if I want to grab drinks with Jake after work, I have to check first. And even then, she'll make comments about it later." "That's because Jake is a terrible influence," I interjected. "He makes sexist jokes. He's still single at 28. There's a reason for that." "Have you met Jake?" Dr. Richardson asked me. "I've met him twice." That was enough. The session continued like that, me presenting issues, the therapist asking questions that felt weirdly pointed at me instead of Ryan. At one point he asked, "When Ryan does share his feelings, how do you typically respond?" I listen. I'm supportive. "Ryan?" My boyfriend, who'd been getting more comfortable as the hour went on, said, "Sometimes it feels like my feelings are wrong. Like if I'm frustrated about something, I should just get over it. If I'm excited about something she doesn't care about, it's a waste of energy." My throat felt tight. "That's not fair." "I'm not trying to be mean," Ryan said. "I'm just answering the question." When the session ended, Dr. Richardson scheduled us for the following week. In the Uber home, I was quiet, replaying everything. Ryan stared out the window. Back at the apartment, I immediately went to the bedroom and called Mara. "How'd it go?" "I don't know," I said, keeping my voice low. The therapist kept asking me weird questions. like he was defending Ryan's behavior instead of addressing it. Girl, how old is this therapist? I don't know, 50s. There's your problem. Old school guys don't understand modern relationship dynamics. They still think men should be able to do whatever they want. Maybe you're right. Do you want me to send you some resources? There are therapists who specialize in toxic masculinity. Yeah, send them. But even as I said it, something nagged at me. Ryan had seemed different in that session, more honest than he'd been in months. I pushed the thought away. This was going to work. It had to. The next few weeks were strange. Ryan had gone to a couple solo sessions. Dr. Richardson said it would help him open up more freely, which I wasn't thrilled about, but whatever. And I started noticing changes. Small things at first. Like Saturday morning, I woke up at 7:15 and Ryan was already gone. Gym. Normally he'd text me when he was leaving, but my phone was empty. I texted him, "Where are you?" 20 minutes later. Gym. Home by 7:30. No apology. No explanation. Just that. When he got home, I was sitting at the kitchen counter. "You didn't text me you were leaving." "Didn't think I needed to." What's that supposed to mean? It means I went to the gym. Same as every Saturday. My chest tightened. It's called consideration. He just nodded and went to shower. Then there was Jake. Ryan made plans with him on a Thursday without asking me first. When I pointed out that Thursdays were our cooking night, he shrugged. "We can do tomorrow instead." "That's not the point." "What is the point?" "The point is, you didn't even check with me." "I'm making plans with my friend." I didn't think that required permission. Permission, like I was some kind of controlling psycho. By the third week, I knew something had shifted. Ryan was pulling away, and therapy was making it worse, not better. Sunday afternoon, I asked him to meet me at the coffee shop around the corner. Neutral territory. I'd already ordered my oat milk latte when he arrived. "What's up?" "We need to talk about therapy." "I think it's making things worse. You've been different. Distant." He took a sip of his black coffee. "Different how?" "You don't check in anymore. You make plans without considering me. You're cold." "I'm setting boundaries." There it was. That word he'd probably learned from Dr. Richardson. "Boundaries?" I repeated. "Is that what you're calling it?" "That's stonewalling. It's one of Gottman's 4 horsemen, one of the biggest predictors of relationship failure." "I'm not stonewalling you." "You'll barely talk to me anymore. Because when I do talk, you tell me I'm wrong. About how I feel, about what I want, about everything." My hands were shaking. "That's not true." "Isn't it?" We sat there, the coffee shop buzzing around us. "Do you even want this anymore?" I asked quietly. "I don't know. Do you want me? Or do you want some version of me that doesn't exist? That's not fair. I think we need to talk to Dr. Richardson. Together." I scheduled an emergency session for Wednesday. Wednesday came too fast. We sat in our usual spots. Dr. Richardson looked between us with that calm expression. "So you both wanted to meet?" "What's going on?" I launched in immediately. Ryan's been different since starting therapy. More closed off, less communicative. He's not working on the issues. If anything, he's getting worse. Dr. Richardson turned to Ryan. "How do you feel things have been going?" "Honestly, better. For me at least." My stomach dropped. "Better how?" "I feel like I can breathe, like I don't have to apologize for existing anymore." "That's dramatic," I said. Dr. Richardson held up a hand. "Let him finish." Ryan continued. "I've been thinking about what we talked about in solo sessions, about how it's normal to have hobbies, how friendships don't mean I'm avoiding intimacy. How going to the gym doesn't make me a bad person. It's not about... Then what is it about? Ryan asked, looking at me. Because every time I do something for myself, you find a way to make it a problem. Dr. Richardson leaned forward. Can I ask you something? Why do you need to know where Ryan is at all times? I just like to know he's safe. Does he check in with you about your whereabouts? That's different. How? I felt cornered. I'm not the one with the problem. What problem does Ryan have? The toxic masculinity, the emotional unavailability. That's why we're here. Dr. Richardson set down his notepad. I want to share something I've observed. Ryan goes to the gym regularly. That's healthy. He maintains friendships. That's emotionally intelligent. He works hard at his career. That's ambition. What I've noticed is that whenever Ryan sets a boundary, you reframe it as a character flaw. When he takes time for himself, you call it abandonment. Can we explore why his independence feels threatening to you? The room went silent. My face was burning. I think we need a different therapist, someone who specializes in male behavior patterns. Why? Because you're clearly not seeing what I'm seeing. What are you seeing? Someone who's supposed to help fix my relationship taking his side instead. Dr. Richardson's voice was gentle but firm. I'm not taking sides. I'm observing patterns. The behaviors you've labeled as toxic are actually healthy. The concerning patterns I'm seeing are around control and criticism. I stood up. This is ridiculous. Come on, Ryan. Ryan didn't move. Ryan. I think I want to stay. I stared at him. You're seriously... You can leave if you want. I grabbed my purse and walked out. That night was the worst fight we'd ever had. When Ryan got home around 8:30, I was waiting in the dark. You turned him against me. Ryan set his keys down slowly. That's not what happened. Then what? Because I tried to help you and you've made me the villain. Nobody's the villain. But some of your expectations aren't fair. Like what? Like needing to approve my friendships, monitoring my schedule, making me feel guilty for having interests outside of us. I don't do that. You do. And I've been letting you because I didn't want to fight. But this isn't healthy. This? Or me? The dynamic? I felt tears coming. So you're giving up? I'm telling you how I feel. Using language, he fed you. He asked questions. I answered them. And it made me realize I've been walking on eggshells for months. Oh, poor Ryan, having a girlfriend who cares about his emotional growth. You don't want my growth. You want me to be someone I'm not. I was crying now. I just wanted you to be better. Better than what? I have a good job, good friends. I take care of myself. What's actually wrong with me? I couldn't answer. He grabbed his keys. I'm going to Jake's. I need space. Of course. Run to Jake. He stopped at the door. Jake actually lets me exist without making me feel like I'm constantly failing. Then he was gone. Saturday night, Becca's birthday party. Rooftop bar downtown, string lights and city views. I almost didn't go, but Mara insisted. After my second glass of wine, standing with the girls near the bar, it just came out. Therapy has made him completely different, like he's totally shut down. Mara jumped in. I told you, male therapists always side with men. Brotherhood thing. Right? And now he acts like I'm controlling. Sophie made a sympathetic noise. They can't handle accountability. My ex did the same thing. The worst part? He says I'm the toxic one. Me. Because I asked him to be emotionally available. Honestly, Jess said, if he's not willing to grow, cut your losses. I was nodding when I heard a voice behind me. She's been trying to break you down since month 6. I turned. Jake was there, standing with Ryan by the railing. Ryan, who I didn't know was here, who'd heard everything. Our eyes met across the rooftop. He'd heard it all. I left early, got an Uber home, sat on the couch in the dark. He came back around midnight. We need to talk. I'd been planning apologies, explanations, but when I looked at him, I knew nothing would matter. He sat in the chair across from me, not next to me. I'm done. Ryan, let me say this. You monitor where I am constantly. You criticize my friendships. You shame me for hobbies. You use therapy language to shut down conversations. When I set boundaries, you call it toxic. When I'm happy, you find the problem. I was trying to help. No. You were trying to control me. My throat was so tight. I love you. I know you think you do, but love doesn't look like this. So you're giving up on everything we built? You gave up on who I actually am the day you decided I needed to be fixed. I started crying. Please, we can work on this together. I don't want to. You're making a mistake. Maybe, but it's mine to make. He stood. I'll get my stuff this weekend. Just like that? Just like that. Wednesday, 6 p.m. Dr. Richardson's office, one last time. I'd called and asked if we could do a final session with Ryan, for closure. So this is your last session, Dr. Richardson said. What do you hope to accomplish? I jumped in. I think if we both commit to being honest. I'm not here to get back together, Ryan said. I'm here because you asked for closure. My heart sank. I came here thinking I was broken, Ryan said. That working out, having friends, focusing on my career, were problems. What I learned is those things aren't problems. They're what make me, me. I also learned I've been accepting treatment that isn't okay. Being monitored, criticized for things that are healthy, being made to feel like my feelings are wrong. I'm done accepting that. He looked at me. I don't hate you, but I can't be in a relationship where I feel like I'm constantly failing. I felt my defense kick in. This is avoidant attachment. You're in a flight response. Stop! Dr. Richardson's voice was firm. I'm going to say something I should have said weeks ago. What I've observed is you pathologizing normal, healthy behaviors. Going to the gym isn't toxic. Having friendships isn't abandonment. Career ambition isn't emotional unavailability. Setting boundaries isn't abuse. You don't understand. I've been doing this for 23 years. I understand perfectly. You came here wanting him to be emotionally available, but when he expressed his actual feelings, you dismissed them. You wanted vulnerability, but only the kind that confirmed your narrative. The room felt like it was tilting. What Ryan is doing, leaving a relationship where he feels controlled, this is the healthiest choice he could make. I looked at Ryan through tears. You're really done? Yeah. You're going to regret this. Maybe, but I need to find out. 3 weeks later, I'm sitting in Mara's apartment, wine glass in hand, going over it again. He just threw away 2.5 years, I say, because he couldn't handle basic emotional work. Men are so fragile, Sophie says from the couch. The second you ask them to grow, they bail. And that therapist, Mara adds, completely unprofessional. He basically coached Ryan to leave you. Right? Like, isn't therapy supposed to help relationships, not destroy them? I take another sip. My phone is face down on the table. Ryan hasn't texted in over a week. I heard through a mutual friend he got his promotion. $120,000. Of course. Now he'll think leaving me was the right choice. You know what the worst part is? I say. He actually believes he was the victim. Like I was this terrible girlfriend when I was just trying to help him be better. That's what they do, Jess says. They flip the script. Suddenly you're the problem for having standards. I nod, feeling validated. See? It's not just me. Everyone sees it. I even texted him that I'm seeing someone new, I admit, just to show him I'm fine. Are you? Mara asks gently. I will be. Once I find someone who actually wants to do the work, someone mature enough to handle a woman who knows what she wants. They all murmur agreement. We toast to dodging bullets and knowing our worth. But later, lying in bed alone in the apartment that's now just mine, I can't stop replaying Dr. Richardson's words. The concerning patterns are around control and criticism. Number. That's not right. I was helping. I was pushing him to be better. Wasn't I? My phone lights up. It's an article someone shared in my group chat. 10 signs your partner is a covert narcissist. I screenshot it, send it to Mara with, "This is literally Ryan." She hearts it immediately. I read through the list, checking off items in my head. Emotionally distant, prioritizes self over relationship, uses therapy language to manipulate. See? I was right all along.